it's Chi-Town, it's Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears may have a stunning trade bargain available ahead of the deadline. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, if you are happy that the Chicago Bears football is finally back after the long bye week, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, it's happy to be back this week as Bears will also be back as they take on the Washington Commanders this Sunday, which is dialed up to be a really huge game. I will be doing a pregame show with Isaiah Fry over the next couple of days to talk about the upcoming matchup with the Commanders. But hopefully Jaden Daniels is okay with that rib injury. Hopefully he's available to play because I know there's a lot of fans, Bears fans, Commanders fans all over the world that are really excited to see Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, 1 versus 2. It's going to be a great game. But Bears fans, I wanted to come on here really quick because we've been talking over the last couple of days as the November 5th trade deadline is slowly approaching for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears about different moves that Ryan Poles and the Bears could possibly make to better their organization. As we all know, Ryan Poles has no fear of making a huge swing if that means it's going to make the Chicago Bears roster better. Once again, over the last couple of years, he has been very active of trading away even second-round picks to get the player that he wants, most notably Montez Sweat for a second-round pick last year from the Commanders, and that ended up being a really huge trade for this organization. But now there is a pretty unexpected name that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears can jump on. And this actually came from Mark Carman of CHGO. And he was just basically talking about a name that could become available for the Chicago Bears over the next week or two, possibly. And it comes at a very surprising price. So I'm going to show you the clip of them talking about this player. And now, of course, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on if I were Ryan Poles, if I would make this move for this organization. Check this out, Bears fans.
Listen, the Lions are supposedly interested in Trayvon Walker. Maybe they're even more interested now considering Aiden Hutchinson's situation. But the rumor on the street, 4th round pick. Sign me up. I'll take a 23-year-old who's got 10 sacks on his resume, who's got 5 this year, and yeah, you're getting him for a 4th round pick because he's not consistent. But the Chicago Bears, ladies and gentlemen, Hogue, Braggs, I think they're getting better. I think it's getting easier to get to the quarterback on the Bears. I think Montez Sweat's making things sweeter for people. I think that Jervon Dexter Sr. is doing something for everybody on that defensive line. I think that Andrew Billings is enjoying his spot here on the Chicago Bears and he's going to get paid. I think that I left my phone off ringer. I think Trayvon Walker can come here and be more productive.
All right, Bears fans. So Trayvon Walker is a pretty interesting name for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to consider. And I really feel as a fan that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears should at least consider adding Walker prior to the trade deadline. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this move because to me, he's still a very notable player. He was a #1 overall pick a couple of years ago, and he's kind of suffered from consistency issues to start his career with Jacksonville. But, when you look at him as a player, he's not really good against the run, but his evolution as a pass rusher is really impossible to deny. He has definitely year in and year out has become a better edge rusher. Since December 17th of last season, he now has 11 sacks in the past 11 games. When you look at just Trayvon Walker as a person, 23 years old, so still very young, stands at 6'5", 272 pounds. He has athleticism, he has length, and he has the burst that has been really of a headache for opposing offensive lines to, really contain a guy like this. And then you really think about the opportunity that Trayvon Walker would have here in Chicago with already a pretty good defensive line with Montez Sweat, Jervon Dexter. You already have Darrell Taylor as well. This seems like a perfect opportunity for a guy like Walker to remove himself from, to me, not a very good team over there in Jacksonville and to come over to a defense I think that would favor him a lot more, especially playing under head coach Matt Eberflus. You all know Matt Eberflus loves guys that are athletic, loves guys that are long, love guys that have burst as well, especially as an edge rusher. And that's exactly what Trayvon Walker is and what he could be for the Chicago Bears defensive line. It's definitely a move that I think would make our defense a whole lot better. I mean, and you cannot, you can't underestimate, how young he is too. 23 years old. He just fits the mold on everything that Ryan Poles is looking for when he's looking for an edge rusher to add to this defense. So Mark Carman brought up a really interesting point that the rumor right now for Trayvon Walker, to get a guy like Trayvon Walker, would be a 4th round pick. If those rumors are true, Bears fans, there is no doubt in my mind that Ryan Poles and the Bears need to pick up the phone and call Jacksonville and make this trade right now. Once again, the Jaguars are sitting at 2-5 right now. It looks like they are not going anywhere, especially when they're pretty much in a very tough division playing against the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. So to me, I'm not sure what Jacksonville wants to do for the rest of the season, but if they are willing to give up, one of their better edge rushers on their team, just, drafted him number 1 overall a couple of years ago, if they're willing to get rid of this guy for a 4th round pick, I would be all over it if I'm Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. I just feel like this would be great to have Trayvon Walker and Montez Sweat on the same defensive line. I know we just added Darrell Taylor. I know we just drafted Austin Booker as well in this past NFL draft, but I still think it would benefit the Chicago Bears to get a bona fide number 2 pass rusher alongside Montez Sweat. And hey, maybe Austin Booker could definitely be that guy. But to me, I said this on past episodes right here on Geek on the Mic, you can never have too many edge rushers on your roster. And to me, this would be absolutely insane if you're able to get a guy like this, and that's only 23 years old, 6'5", 272 pounds. I'm a guy that's, just really elevated himself as an, pass rusher and specialist. He could definitely use some work as a run defender. But I think adding him and pairing him with Montez Sweat, Darrell Taylor, and then once Austin Booker gets up to speed, I think this would make the Chicago Bears defensive line absolutely ridiculous. There's only really one hurdle that I really see with adding a guy like, Trayvon Walker. It would be the money. He has 1 year left on his deal. The acquiring team would be able to utilize his 5th-year option, but he's still about to be a very expensive player. Even if you use the 5th-year option, he's probably going to be looking for a long-term extension because he has been very productive as a pass rusher. Once again, yes, he can improve as a run defender, but as a pass rushing specialist, he has been really good for Jacksonville. So I think if the Bears do, in fact, wanted to pursue this trade for Trayvon Walker, I think it would be a great idea. But the main question is for Ryan Poles and the Bears is, would they want to pay big money to another edge rusher, knowing that you just gave Montez Sweat all that money? And there's other areas of the roster that you need to concern yourself with. Obviously, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon. Are you going to re-sign Tevin Jenkins? There's other guys on this roster that you may need to throw money at to make sure you don't lose those guys as free agency. So as much as I want Trayvon Walker, and I would welcome him to this organization because he would make this defense better, you have to consider other factors on your team. Is there other areas of need, which there are? The interior offensive line can still use very much work. But at the end of the day, if Jacksonville is willing to give up Walker for only a 4th round pick, it's definitely something that Ryan Poles and the Bears would need to consider. So Bears fans, over the next couple of weeks, as we near the trade deadline on November 5th, there's going to be a whole bunch of rumors and news spiraling around the Chicago Bears. And also, we know our GM never sleeps. He's always looking to make this roster better. So at this point, I think fans, not only Bears fans, but fans around the NFL are expecting the Chicago Bears to make a move, especially when we're sitting at 4-2 in prime position to really not only make the playoffs, but maybe possibly even compete for an NFC North. I can see Ryan Poles possibly making a bold move to make this Chicago Bears roster better. But before I let you guys go, Bears fans, let me ask you guys this. If Trayvon Walker is available for only a 4th round pick, do you think Ryan Poles and the Bears should contact Jacksonville and bring Walker to Chicago? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.